So far we use full file paths to create and open files. Now let's get more organized and cleaner and just use file names when creating files. What I mean is something like this. So with open, and then we directly write testing.txt without using the full path as our file. And after that we could perform some actions, such as writing some content inside that file. But hold on, don't execute it, because if you do, the testing.txt file will be created in your current working directory, which in your system is maybe where Python or Spider is installed. Well, you can check what your current directory is actually with these lines of code. Import os, and then os.getCurrentDirectory, and that should be your current directory. Now let's stop here for a moment and let me present you with a OS module. First of all, modules in Python are like extensions or plugins if you like. Modules provide functionalities in addition to those loaded by default when you start Python. So when you start Python, you don't want every possible function to be loaded ready to use, because that would consume memory. So we have the possibility to call a module when we need it. Now, once we load a module, we can use its features by calling them using the dot notation, as I did here with the getCurrentDirectory method. So in this case, we're calling the getDirectory method, which will print a string that describes the current working directory. Now here is some good information. If you want to see a full list of available methods and functions of your module, you can generate one using the dir function. So dir and the module name. And here is the current directory method. Okay, let's move on now. What we want to do now is change the working directory. The OS module comes in handy again, this time with the change directory method. So os.change directory, and then we enter the directory of our choice. Be aware that the directory should exist in your system, otherwise you will get an error. If you want to create a new directory, use the make dir method. I'm just gonna delete my in folder here and create a new one using Python. So os.makeDirs, and then we write the full directory in the brackets, inside the brackets. Then we can set the working directory again if we want. Now let's create a file by just using the file name. So open testing.txt as file, and let's write something inside the file. Then we could check if the file is in the directory. Yes, so the list directory method is used to list everything that is inside the folder. Before we close this lecture, let's delete the file we created, and we use the remove method to do that. I'll list the directory items again to see if we got rid of that file. Yes.